YouTube. Hello, welcome. Hey, everybody. It's so good to see you. Now, just so you know, there is a delay on the YouTube versus TikTok. So we'll have a delay in the comments, but I've got all the comments set up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull over comments here. Great.
Hello, Marissa from Michigan. My son goes to Michigan Tech. I have to drive up there to get him tomorrow, and I'm a little nervous. I think it's going to be kind of snowy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Are you in Michigan? You're in Illinois?
I'm in Illinois.
Illinois. Okay, I thought you were in Illinois. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I've got all the things set up. Thank you for your patience. You guys are amazing. I'm so excited to be live right here with Erin. This is going to be so good. It's our Schumann Queen. So we have like no agenda. We're just going to roll with the flow. And we just wanted to kind of have a convo because we have very interesting conversations the few times we've had conversations. And so we just want to like talk and ask each other questions. And then we'll get some of the questions answered in the chat. Oh, there's a background echo. Uh-oh. I forgot this happens sometimes. Let me grab my AirPods. Those work really well.
Okay.
I don't know where I put them. So let me go find them really quick.
All right. Hey, Meta. So good to see you. Hello. Hello. I'm excited to be here. How fun is this? This is super fun. I am very glad to be here, always. Let's see. Hey, Deb, what's going on? Lisa, excuse me. How's it going?
Right there. You want to come? Fine, come.
Hi, Crystal. Hey, Janelle. Meta, you made it in plenty of time. Hey, hey, hey.
Okay, is that better on TikTok? Did the echo go away? Does that feel so much better? Okay.
I have the sound completely turned off on my TikTok, so I can't hear it at all.
Yeah. It's worse? Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do. Thanks for helping us with this, you guys. Where is my how is it worse? Huh. Erin was echoing. Now you both are. Oh, I hear background music that echoes. That's what somebody said.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay. Is this better?
Is that better? I should be all in my headset and my microphone now. So hopefully that's better. Okay. Yay. Happy day. It seems to be better now. Good.
Good. Much better. Good. Yes. Still better. I had to change something. I got nervous.
It says it stopped. So that's good. All right.
Excellent. Whatever we did fixed. I'm not going to touch anything else.
I know this confluence of events. It finally worked. So
good. Okay. Oh, good. And YouTube sound is fine. Good. Thank you. Okay. Well, we're finally getting started. Thank you so much. We love you guys so much. I'm so glad that you guys are here with us. Okay, Erin, I've got some questions for you.
Okay.
Okay. So I am more on an intuitive journey, and obviously I'm learning things as I go, but I haven't made it as far as learning deeply about the Schumann like I want to. I just have a very vague understanding. So can you give us like just the down and dirty of what the Schumann resonance is?
Yes. So the Schumann is a set of frequencies that are in harmonic around the ionosphere. So they come in and they all work together. It's not one particular frequency. It's a set of several frequencies. They are kind of like, if you think about what it sounds like when you ring a bell, how it hears the noise, you hear the noise and then it sort of spreads out like that. Yeah. That energy that comes into our ionosphere through coronal mass ejections. Yeah. Lightning strikes. Yeah. Geomagnetic activity, so volcanic eruptions, tectonic plate movement, all of that is energy going somewhere. It goes into the ionosphere and it kind of reverberates and moves around, right? Yeah. We as human beings, we're a large percentage water. Yeah. Water is a conductor, right? Yeah. And then when you think about the way cells work, Sam, you'll appreciate this, all the sodium ion exchange, the microtubules, all this stuff, this all is energetic in nature. Your heart produces what, a 3-foot radius. Your brain produces like a 1-foot radius or something like that. These are measurable things. So what I'm talking about is how the incoming energy can be affecting us on an emotional and physiological level. And it's all backed by different scientific principles, right? Especially around the idea of entrainment. Okay. So when you look at the Russian graph, the one I use most often, the big white energy, when you look at the key for that, that is high intensity, high frequency energy. High frequency energy is associated with the movement of information, right? So as that comes in, it comes into our system and it allows us to integrate bigger pushes of sort of information. It's not necessarily that it's the information itself.
Yeah.
That it's the tool to help you pull in that information. It's kind of like if you have a headache, it's the aspirin, or if you have ADHD, it's the whatever you do to help yourself focus kind of thing. Hopefully that made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, that's very helpful. Okay, cool. That's very, very helpful. Okay. So I have a theory about the Schumann, but me knowing very little, I'm not educated about the Schumann. I just am like going on intuition and vibes, right? About the Schumann.
Yeah.
I have a theory and I want to hear what you think about this theory. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm getting a couple people asking if they can record it. I mean, sure, I don't really care. But the replay is going to be up on YouTube after this today. So you guys can watch it there too if you want. Okay. So my theory is I think it's like a combination. The higher your frequency is, plus the more grounded you are in your own energy, the less you are affected by the Schumann. And I don't think anybody gets out scot-free, but it feels like watching people in my comments, watching people in my spiritual community. And again, absolutely disprove me if you disagree with this, but it feels like the more centered and grounded and focused on yourself and your own journey you are, the less severity you feel from the Schumann. Correct or incorrect?
No, I agree with you. And here's why.
Okay.
If you think about yourself having an experience for the first time, let's say the first time you see fireworks, oh my God, that's incredible. I've never seen that before. But if you continue to be exposed to fireworks, eventually it's no longer, oh my God, look at that. Wow, what an experience.
Yeah.
You become acclimated. It's no longer novel, right? It's also part of the sort of entrainment of the frequency, because you've started to recognize, oh, when this energy comes in, this is how I feel. Yeah. Now you're picking up on the feeling first. So you don't need the graph to tell you why you feel the way you do, because you're able to decipher on your own why you feel the way you do.
Yes, because I'm going to be so honest. I always feel the energy before I watch your daily videos. Yes. Because I don't want to be influenced by it. I'm like, I want to see how I feel, and I'm going to I'm going to sit in my own energy, and I'm just going to pay attention to that. And then I watch your videos, and every time I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, exactly. And I want to add, so I was pulling up this, I literally wrote this morning, and I had no idea we were going to talk about this, but I wrote this morning. So what I wrote down, because I was trying to put all these pieces together, when you think about the Schumann, right, here's what you have to think of it like. The universe is made of vibration. So that means the earth is not an exception to that. And neither are you as a physical body. Right. So in the same way that your body is a coherent field pattern moving through a sea of frequency, the planet itself is continually humming with its own electromagnetic rhythm, right?
Yes.
The Schumann resonances are the clearest example of this. They're standing waves created between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere, vibrating primarily at 7.83 hertz, but they have multiple harmonic layers, right?
Yeah.
They sort of function like Earth's heartbeat, always there, always in the background, always running, all kinds of stuff, right?
Right.
But because you and your physical body are built from the same architecture of resonance that forms particles, planets, emotions, and consciousness, your system responds directly and measurably to the oscillations in the planet itself, because that's how physics works, right?
Yes.
Okay. So lightning strikes around the globe are constantly exciting this. And it doesn't matter where the lightning is because the energy diffuses itself. It gets up in the ionosphere and spreads out. So there's a storm in Turkey. It doesn't matter. It's going to spread out throughout the ionosphere, right?
Yeah.
But things like coronal mass ejections, the solar wind speed, geomagnetic storms, earthquake, seismic activity, global atmospheric conditions, and us, we all have effects on this Schumann resonance. But there have been studies. This is my favorite part, right? So there have been studies to link the human body to this resonance. And here's the science, friends. So Dr. Weaver is from the 1960s. His first study suggested that the human biological clock is partially entrained to Earth's natural frequency, that up and down rhythm, right? It's a natural oscillation in the Earth's frequency. We have this natural oscillation in our own sleep-wake patterns, right?
Yeah.
Then Dr. Koenig and Asmanoff, moving forward in time in the 1970s, did multiple studies that showed correlations between the Schumann frequency and human brainwave patterns. Okay, so now we're starting to see how they start to echo and mirror each other as our technology advances. So too does our ability to understand what we're working with, right? So now we're moving forward. We go from the 70s to the 80s and 90s. We have Dr. Pershinger, and his studies argued that the brain is an electromagnetic antenna sensitive to changes in the environment. Here we come, getting closer and closer and closer. Now, then you bring in things like the Heart Math Institute. They're constantly working on this, right? And their Global Coherence Initiative has documented correlations between Schumann activity and collective human emotional states, heart rate variability, and stress responses. And their data suggests the interaction goes both ways. We influence the earth and she influences us all at the same time. We are a harmonic unit together, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. So as human beings, we are living inside an electromagnetic organism, living inside an electromagnetic system. So it's all these things. So it would be, to me, illogical to think that there's no way that they don't interact. Like that to me is the most, pardon my words, asinine statement someone says to me. I'm like, what?
Yes.
How that doesn't even, that's not even logical, not even a little bit,
Well,
you know?
everything affects everything, right? And okay,
Yes.
so I worked many, many years in a neuro ICU. Okay, it was a level 1 trauma center. We had a seizure unit outside of the neuro ICU that we would float to and cover because, you know, neuro, we were brain nurses, right? That's where I spent most of my career, was brain, nervous system, that kind of stuff. Okay, so in the neuro ICU, it was fascinating to watch people on these EEGs because I'm telling you what, this is a 29 bed unit. And I was charge nurse for a couple of years of this 29 bed unit, and being in charge of 29 neuro ICU patients, it's big and you can't see everybody all at once. So you don't always know what's going on. I would know, it was like a horseshoe shape, right? This giant unit. I would know, I'm getting goosebumps talking about this. I forgot about all this stuff. I would know watching somebody's EEG if somebody over here was about to crash and burn, because I could see the spikes. The spikes would change and there'd be more activity. And I would go, that's interesting. And of course, it took me a while to put those correlations together. And I wish I could have done a study or something like that because it's so fascinating.
Oh my gosh, there's so much of that stuff.
I'm like, so much. You can see their brainwaves change, and they're like those patients for us, when they were in the ICU proper, were always intubated, sedated. We were doing brainwaves for multiple things, but they were always intubated, sedated. So it's not like they were consciously aware of what was going on. Right. But their brainwaves are still reacting to something I didn't even know about over on the other side of the unit that I couldn't see or perceive or hear or anything. So everything is related to everything, and everything affects everything. Absolutely. But bringing it back, the more grounded and centered you are, the less you're affected by those things, right?
Well, I think it's the less you look to something outside of yourself to explain the effect you are feeling.
Yeah.
And the more confident. So I think these things like listening to me for the Schumann, going to a reader, working with anybody, these are wonderful tools, but the end goal is not for you to become dependent upon that. It's for you to evolve beyond the need for that.
Yes.
All we're doing, like I tell people all the time, all I'm literally doing is holding up a flashlight in a dark room so you can see where you're going. That's all I'm doing.
Yes.
Right.
I'm like, I'm just showing you how to get across the bridge, but you got to do it. I'm just showing you where to go. So, yes, I love that so much. And I'd like to broaden that out just a little bit. The whole point is to learn how to not be dependent upon these things, to
Right.
not be dependent upon the Schumann, to not be dependent upon crystals and tarot and all that stuff. But they're really, really good tools, right? The point is to use the tool and get to know the tool, but then like expand out, broaden yourself, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to add to that. Remember that because we are all individual frequencies, the way you perceive and work with any one of these tools is going to be at the very minimum slightly different and sometimes vastly different from other people because you are an individual receiver. It is impossible for anyone else to have the same perception as you. And in medicine, Sam, I'm sure you know this, because I was in ophthalmology, when I was working with a client, or I say client now, when I was working with a patient that had an optic neuritis, one of the first things you did is you show them a little red pen top, right? Is it red or is it maroon? What color is it? Because that shows indication here. But what people fail to realize is that every single person has a different type of density of rods and cones in their eyes. So the way you perceive red and the way someone else perceives red is different. We just have a collective agreement over what the spectrum of red looks like. And we've agreed that what you perceive is somewhere in that range. And it's the same thing with any of these tools that we're giving you, right? It's just, we're just like, the reason I say I'm a frequency and clarity coach is because my job, the way it was explained to me by my guides, is it's like you're learning to ride your bike. I'm going to hold the back of your bike so you don't fall, and I'm going to answer your questions, let you get your balance. But at some point, I'm going to let go. And then you're just going to keep going the way you're going, and you're going to figure out your own path. You're going to figure out your new tools. And it's not about better or worse. It's just about better or worse than you were before. You have to stop comparing yourself to other people because it's a subjective experience. It's a quick way to hold yourself still.
Yes, it is. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes to all of this. I love this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
So good. So good. Oh my God. We have so many comments.
Yeah.
So many. I don't even know where to start on these comments. Lots of thank yous. You guys are so sweet. You guys did the work. All we're doing is sharing what we're passionate about, what we want to do. Like, this is my passion, and this is likely Erin's passion.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
absolutely. This is what I love to do.
Yeah. So thank you for the synchronicity, to be so honest, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for the synchronicity is literally all that it is. But you guys did all the work. We might be showing you the way, but you literally have to do everything to get there, right?
Exactly.
We're getting a few questions on which site do you use to watch the Schumann?
So I use a couple different ones. First of all, I have to say I have an iPhone, and the apps that are on iPhone may be different than a different carrier or a different type of phone. But the apps I use an app called Space Weather. It's connected to NASA. And then I use one called NOAA, NOAA. I can go in there and look at the currents and all kinds of stuff. And then the other one I use is just called the Schumann Resonance. That's literally the whole name. Some of them I understand on devices other than Apple don't work properly. Like, I have friends that have Androids and they're like, oh, my app doesn't work right. Yeah, fortunately, I don't have anything to do with it, so I can't help you with that. But they are all free. If you want to find it, Google it. Literally, just go to Google and ask, and it'll find it for you. The site might be in Russian, but it'll find it for you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, everything. It's wild. The more you grow and learn and expand your own consciousness, right? It's wild how you realize literally everything is connected. Just literally every aspect of everything. And it just continues to amaze me. And I know it shouldn't at this point, but it does, because you get to these higher and higher levels of understanding and realization. And every new level you go, oh my God, and that's connected. And then, oh my God, and that's connected, and just literally all of it. So could you talk more about how the more we raise our own personal vibration, right? If we're doing it collectively, how does that impact the Schumann?
So I don't know. I don't know, because we've never been there before. So I don't know what it's going to do. What I can say is that we as a species are evolving. There is a lot of evidence to that, scientifically and spiritually and emotionally. There's evidence all across the board that we as a species are evolving. And if you take that into account the fact that we live on a living system, then by default, that system must also be evolving. So I think it would be very difficult to try to predict what it'll do because we are looking through the lens of where we are and not where we're going. What I understand about the human evolutionary process is that we're sort of shifting for lack of a better term, our bandwidth a little bit. Like if you imagine the human spectrum, the human body has a range of vibration this big, and you can stay up here in this range, or you can stay down here in this range, but that's your range. The human species overall is shifting all together this way.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And
to
so
higher frequency possibilities.
Right. To higher and higher frequency possibilities, which as a species enables us to receive information that we would not otherwise have been able to receive.
Yeah.
So I imagine the Earth, just because of the principle of duality, must also have something happening for that, but I have no idea what that would look like.
Well, I've been channeling for years now that the Earth is, we know the Earth is a living, growing being just like we are, right? Mm-hmm. And I've been channeling for years that the Earth is evolving kind of at a similar rate to us. It doesn't always match like matchy, but it's a similar rate to us, right? Because we affect it and it affects us, right? It's definitely back and forth. Like we help each other kind of move along. So I've seen this consciousness of the Earth where the Earth is responding to itself and to us and everything on it in different higher vibrational ways. It's hard to see the effects of that from like the human conscious level. I have to go into meditation usually to see it, or a state to see it, but it's hard to see it because of all the damage that humans are doing to the Earth. So we don't see all the effects yet, but I'm telling you, it's happening. The Earth is healing itself faster, even though we're not seeing it directly, but it is healing itself faster. And all of these, I've been channeling for a year now, all of these big, Earth events like earthquakes and tornadoes and volcanic eruptions and all these things, they're happening more frequently because it's like, here's what I see when I channel it. It's like Gaia, Earth, is waking up from a nap. And when you wake up from a nap and you stretch and you like bones crack and pop back into place and muscles stretch and you get that good stretch. That's what it feels like Earth is doing and preparing herself for a big jump forward in evolution, just the same as we are. We are literally doing the same thing, right? Yes. And that ties into these channelings that I've gotten where maybe about a year or so ago, maybe slightly less, I saw this like almost like a bulldozer with like this triangle kind of on its face, right? And it was going through and it's like pushing, and you're being forced to choose higher or lower frequencies. And one is not better than the other, right? Higher frequency does not mean better. It just means vibrating at a faster rate, right? Yes. But it's forcing people to choose, right? And so we are also preparing ourselves for a big giant jump in evolution. And those who are not ready yet for the big giant jump, that's okay. They'll stay on this side and they'll continue to learn what they need to learn, right? There's no rush. You do it in your own time. And those who are ready are going to be on this side and are going to experience a lot of tremendous changes for the, I don't want to say better because that's not what it is, but for the higher frequency. Yes, I agree completely with everything you're saying. I think that we have to be mindful of our perception of things. Mm-hmm. Just because there's a volcano going off does not mean bad, right? Yes. Volcano going off builds new islands, right? Yeah. Just because there's a crack in Africa doesn't necessarily mean bad. That crack will bring a new ocean to an arid plain. Right. Have we thought about this? Like, I think we get stuck in our own perspective of what we think is good or bad, and we can't zoom out and see the bigger picture, as you were saying. Yes. I don't think this is necessarily going to be a super comfortable transition, but is it ever? I think I want to say something to that. I don't think it's going to be a super comfortable transition for a lot of people because we as humans tend to resist change. Yes. But for those who have learned to ride the flow and go with the flow, which is a process, right? I mostly am in the flow, but sometimes I'm not because I'm human and I'm learning my own things, right? Exactly. And I'm still clearing my shadows and shifting limiting beliefs and all that along with everybody else, right? Yes. But the more you can just ride the flow and watch the show, did not mean to rhyme there, but
I love it. That really needs to go on a t-shirt, somebody.
ride the flow and watch the show. Soul Spark, make that a sticker in our group chat. Ride the flow and watch the show, right? But
So fun.
more you can ride the flow and just watch the freaking show, the more you can enjoy it, and the more enjoyable that experience is going to be for everybody, and the more you're going to be able to benefit from it. But the more that you resist that change and you try to stop change, which you're not going to be able to, you cannot stop the flow of the ocean as one singular human, right? So you're not going to be able to stop the flow of progression and evolution and the earth and all and humanity. You're not going to be able to do that. But the more that you resist it and try to stop it, the more you're going to get pummeled, and it's going to be harder and harder and harder, right?
Yes, exactly. You're giving yourself the tools to go with the change instead of fight against the change.
Right.
And that goes right back to the idea of our frequency range shifting, right?
Yes.
In that range of frequency, if you stay down, let's just say towards this side of it, those are the denser frequencies, right?
Yeah.
So in order to fill with a more of a higher frequency, you have to let go of this. The human body physically is limited on how much it can embody. So if you choose to fill up all that space with worry and anxiety and all this stuff, because you have to know exactly how everything's going to turn out, or you have to have the plan all the time, or whatever it is, you're causing that problem for yourself.
Yes.
All you have to do, and I know it sounds a lot harder, it sounds a lot easier than it is, but once you recognize that you can genuinely do this, it changes everything. It literally everything. 100% changes everything. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's a good word for it. I call it radical acceptance, where I'm just like, okay, I got a flat tire. So I can stand here on the side of the road and I can cry and be mad and stomp my feet and be pissed off at everybody, at the world. And why didn't I have a spare? Or I can say, all right, I got a spare. Now what? What do I do with that? This is where your power comes from, is when you decide that the situation does not get to dictate how you feel in that moment.
Yes.
That is Neo seeing through the matrix and saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway.
Yes.
That's what that's
because you know what? Maybe your tire blew because somebody was going to come help you on the side of the road that you would have never met had your tire not blown. Or
maybe there was an accident right up the street that you just avoided.
Yeah. So anytime I get, from my human perspective, get slowed down or stopped or whatever, I go, you know what? All right. Not the time. It's not the time. Something better is going to happen, or something unfortunate would have happened had I continued down this path. I'll try again later and see if it's the time. Right.
Yes.
Ever since I started doing that, my life has gotten miraculously more comfortable, more relaxed, better in literally every single way. It's been unbelievable. And it's not always easy to do that per se. It is once you can shift your mindset, but it's the shifting of your mindset, because we get stuck right in our mindsets and our beliefs. But once you can learn how to shift your beliefs, it becomes so much easier to ride the flow and watch the show, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't even remember now. That was awesome. Yeah. But that goes right back to biology too, right? Because it's easier to do the thing you've always been doing, because you literally have pathways carved in your neurology that are easy for that. In order for you to do something different, you have to carve a different path. So it's hard. Yes. There's resistance. There's all kinds of, it's easier. This is hard. Yeah. But if you keep doing this, eventually this one closes down and this one becomes the dominant, and this is no longer hard. It's only hard at the beginning.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Oh my God. Yes. It's only hard at the beginning, and it's going to continue to be hard forever doing it the other way, or it could be hard for a short period of time and then easy for the rest of whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So it's a choice. You just have to make the choice. Oh, yes. So good.
And so Marissa says you can do hard things. I want to be very careful with that, because before you say that, who told you it was hard? Was it you? Who defined that for you? Are you letting someone else define it for you? Who told you it was hard? It's only hard because you have a perception that it's going to be. If you tell yourself, I'm a expert on this, it's just going to take me a second to figure it out. That's a different story than telling yourself, oh my God, I don't know how this is going to be so hard. right? Like,
Yep.
and
Now,
not to, be rude or call anybody out, but you got to be
no.
careful because we're so used to allowing other people to define our experience for us that it's second nature. We don't even realize we're doing it. How many
Yeah.
times have you been excited about seeing a movie and someone goes, "Oh, it sucked," and you go, "Oh, really?" And then you don't go.
Right.
Right? You
Right.
have no idea. You have no idea because their perception of something just ruined it for you. I told like in the last year or so, I've had to have very interesting conversations with like my kids and my spouse and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to hear how it turns out. I don't want to hear the books you like. I don't want to know why you like them until after I've read them. Let me do it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like toddler putting their feet down. Let's just let me do it.
Just let me do it. Yeah. So I've been teaching a lot lately about shifting your perception and your perspective and finding that next better feeling thought, right? Because we can't always quantum leap. And I teach this a lot in my expansion packs that I've dropped recently, that right about how to get out of your head, shifting into higher timelines, manifestation mastery. All these expansion packs are available through the link in my bio if anybody is interested in checking them out. But these expansion packs, almost all of them, I teach you how to reach for that next better feeling thought. Because if you say, if you genuinely believe I can't do that thing because it's so hard, and then you try to tell yourself, I can do this thing, it's going to be easy, you're not going to believe it because that's too much of a chasm between the two, right? But if your next better feeling thought from I can't do this thing to is, you know what, I can do hard things, and that's a better step from where you were before. But we do need to take it one more step further, right? Because you don't want to land on thinking things are hard, right? So then your next baby step maybe is, well, who told me it was hard?
Right.
Well, just because somebody else said it was hard doesn't mean it's hard for me. I can do anything I want. I'm really good at figuring stuff out. And you see how that feels more expansive and better.
Yes.
And that changes your energy. It changes your frequency, which reverberates out like this ripple effect. And it makes everything just this much easier for you because you've shifted that one thing.
I would love to add on to that. I want to give an and to that. I would love to encourage people that when you're feeling frustrated, when let's just say you knocked over a glass of milk and you go, "Oh my God, I'm so stupid." I would like you to stop and ask yourself this question. Is this a universal truth or is this a circumstantial truth? Because universal truth means it's true no matter the circumstances. Are you really stupid? Or do you just feel stupid in this circumstance because of what happened? If it's a circumstantial truth, friends, that means you can change it. So stop telling yourself that you can't do something. You can't do something. Maybe the circumstances are you've not been shown how to do it. Not knowing how and not being able are vastly different things. And you can't label one as the other and expect it to go right. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's so good. I see a comment over here on TikTok that says that I want to address because I really like this because I hear this one a lot. And it was one of my own limiting beliefs for so long until I realized, oh my God, that's actually limiting me. And I had no idea. If it wasn't easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Right. And the last part is accept the challenge because you won't regret it. Sure. Right. You won't regret it. I agree with that. As long as that's something you want to do. But if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it is a limiting belief. Right.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. It doesn't have to be hard for it to be in alignment. And in fact, if it is in alignment, it's not hard. It's so unbelievably easy. It's like somebody greased it up for you and you're just sliding right through.
You will not believe it the way stuff lines up.
Yes.
Alignment is easy because it is simply resonance. That's all it is. It is simply resonance. You have to take the mysticism away from it. It's just resonance. It's you allowing your base frequency to finally line up with the thing that you have defined here so that you are vibrating on the same plane. Then all of that resistance goes away.
Yes.
That's all it is.
So I'm getting this little ping, probably for my guides. Yeah, for my guides. So I'm guessing I'm feeling this question kind of in the comments. I want to define frequency because we talk about that so much and it's so non-tangible to us and people don't really understand what it means. When we talk about your vibrational frequency, we are talking about literally how fast each individual cell in your body is vibrating because everything vibrates, right? We learn this in basic elementary school science. Everything vibrates. That's its frequency. That's its vibrational frequency. When we say frequency, we say vibration. That's the same thing, a vibrational frequency, right?
The vibration vibration is the movement and the frequency is the rate of that movement.
Yes, yes, thank you. So that's all we're talking about. So as you raise your own vibrational frequency and you begin to feel better and you're healing your stuff, you're healing your shadows and you're shifting your limiting beliefs and all that, you are quite literally making every cell of your entire body vibrate at a faster rate. And when you make everything vibrate at a faster rate, you heal faster, you look younger because your cells are turning over faster, right? You feel so much better, you sleep better, literally everything is improved just because you've increased your vibrational frequency. And I just find that so fascinating.
Yes. And I'm sure it's happened to you, but people used to work with on a literal daily basis saw me every single day, all the time, have walked right past me lately in the last few years. And it's not like I worked with them 10 years ago. I worked with them 2 years ago.
Yes.
They're literally, and I have not changed anything about me. I don't dye my hair. So it's not like I have a different hair color. It's not like I'm wearing different makeup. I am the same person to me. But because my frequency is slightly different, their perception of me is slightly different.
Yes.
And it plays out like this. People will always be like, did you get a haircut? Did you get contacts? Do you normally wear glasses? Did you do something with your teeth? Like, what's something?
Yeah.
They can't put their finger on it because they can feel that it's different, but they don't know how. And that's how you know, friends, when people start saying that to you, that is a clear physical confirmation to you that you have done that. You've moved your bandwidth just enough that people are slightly like, what's happening here? You know?
Yes. And I'm going to take that just one step further. I've had people that I've seen out in the wild that when I was working, 5 or 6 years ago as an ICU nurse, I don't know, timey-wimey, I can't with time. I was a very different person and I did look different and my hair looked different and all of that, but they won't recognize me even if I say hello. And a funny example of this is I saw my ex-mother-in-law, which I've been divorced, my God, I don't know, 15 years or so. I saw my ex-mother-in-law at my son's football playoff game. Like she came up for it. I haven't seen her in, I don't know, since I've been divorced at least, right? I haven't seen her in like 15 years. She didn't even recognize me. When I went up to talk to the rest of the family and say hello, she didn't recognize me at all. And I said hello and she just stared at me. And somebody goes, hey, that's Sam. And she goes, oh my God, I didn't even recognize you.
Right. And there's a moment, right? You see it on their face. They're like, oh, there you are. It's like that it clicks in for a second.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's because my frequency has changed so dramatically since 15 years ago. She really, even when somebody said that's Sam, it still took her a second because I have changed so much because my frequency is different. So I'm an entirely different person, really.
Yes, absolutely. And this transfers over also in conversation, right? If you're in a state where you're really vibing with your energy and you've got stuff, you can have a conversation with someone and literally you'll be thinking to yourself, are we having the same conversation? Because they're not hearing you. Or they're not able to perceive what you're actually saying. And it's nothing they're doing wrong. It's not willful. Most of the time.
Most of the time.
It's not willful.
Yeah.
But it's like their bandwidth doesn't go over there. So they can't get there. But sometimes the best thing you can do is just have the conversation anyway, because it makes them think, well, how come, wait a minute, what is it? And for some people, that curiosity is what sparks everything. That's what starts to bring things forward for them, is that realization of, oh, wait, there is another something else, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so fascinating. All of this is so fascinating. Somebody on YouTube said, I don't know, Erin, if you want to address this, I think this is a really great comment. Sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference between a universal truth and a circumstance truth.
So I think that maybe if you have a lot of emotion in the moment, yes. But if you can separate yourself from the emotion of the moment, then it becomes a lot easier. For me, that tends to be easier than for some other people because of my autism and the way my brain works, right? I'm very easy to separate emotion from stuff. I can do it at a drop of a hat. And so I am able to back out of it and logically look at it from the removed situation of, this is what happened. Is this really true? And I do understand that in the middle of the emotion, that is really hard to do sometimes. So sometimes the best thing you can do is just feel the emotion and be mad. And then once all that kind of gets out of your system, then it gives you clarity when you can step back and go, okay, now let me be just let me be objective about this whole thing. If someone else, and also that's another tool. If you put it outside of yourself, like it was someone outside of you, like your friend, and this happened to your friend, what would you tell your friend?
Yeah.
Right. That's a whole nother way to look at that, because you're going to be hardest on yourself. But, it can be difficult, but you have to just be patient and recognize that emotion is big and it can cloud the whole space.
Oh, 100%. And it takes practice, right? You're not going to be good at it the first, second, maybe even third, fourth, fifth time, like depending on who you are. It takes practice. So if you can catch it a little bit sooner now than you did the last time, that's a win, right? Or if you can just bring it up to your conscious mind to have that thought, right? Is this a universal truth for me, or is this just a circumstantial truth for me? That's also a win, right?
Yes.
So it's just about doing better than you did the last time to the best of your ability. That's literally it.
Right. You cannot change a behavior you don't recognize exists. So the acknowledgement of the behavior is step number one. And then you have to be very careful not to beat yourself up about, oh my God, I should have known better. Well, okay, so what? Who cares? Again, we're going to say, all right, this happened. Stop. Now what? Question mark. Right.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do with it? Okay. You spilled the milk. So what? Now what?
Right.
Right. Pick it up.
Right. Exactly. Okay. I like this question on TikTok. Is there a cap on how high your frequency can be? And I'd like to answer this, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So as the resident woo in this conversation, I suppose, right? Yes and no, there's a cap on your how high your frequency can be. Now there is a certain maximum for being on this planet. Spiritually, no, there's no cap, right? But your human form, your human body can only resonate up so high. And if you want data for that, this is the book I recommend, The Map of Consciousness Explained by David R. Hawkins. I love this book so much. This will give your little, what did I call you guys a long time ago? Oh, my data hose. If you're a data hoe, because I love data also, if you're a data hoe like me, this is it. This book right here. And it's on my book rec list on my website too. So just look for the rainbow one if you forget what it's called. But this book explains kind of like this frequency scale that Dr. Hawkins developed to understand, right, all of this frequency stuff and how much we could raise our frequency, how fast, and what it looks like and feels like and all that stuff, and how it affects the planet even. It's so good. But this is dense. This is a dense physical form. And here's the thing. This is also something I teach a lot. Your soul, your spirit can raise itself in frequency from 0 to infinity with no time in between. It doesn't take any time at all, but your body needs time to catch up, right?
Yes.
Your body can only do so much at a time, and then it goes, okay, and it needs to take a nap, or maybe you get a little third eye headache, or right, you get muscle aches when you're not actually sick, right? Those are ascension symptoms. You get these ascension symptoms when you can't find a physical cause for it, and it's because you've been working on yourself, right? And your body's like, oh my God, okay, hold on, let me catch up, and then you can raise your frequency again. Your body goes, okay, let me catch up. And you just keep doing that game.
Yes.
But there's kind of a cap on it. If you want to put a number to it and you read this book, the scale goes from like 20 to 1,000, and 1,000 would be the scale. That number means nothing in terms of hertz and all that, but read the book because it will explain that to you.
Yeah.
But the way that our bodies are evolving on this planet, likely that number is higher now than it was when he wrote this book in like the 80s or something.
Absolutely.
Right.
100%. And just to add to what you were saying, just to sort of simplify the idea for the physical body, the faster the molecule moves, the less dense it is. If you think of water, when you boil water, it becomes vapor. Right? Yeah. It's moving so fast, it's no longer in solid form. So if your resonant frequency in your body becomes too fast, you're no longer in physical form. So there is a cap because of the physicality of your vessel.
Right.
Very much to Sam's point, though, that is just your vessel and a small little sliver of the overall piece. So I think that, I personally have no idea how many frequencies are even out there. I think there's so many that we couldn't even comprehend it. I think that it's like riding a wave, and you can go up and you can go down and you can go in and you can go out and you can do all this stuff, but your physical body has got to stay a little bit here. That's why
Does.
you're here.
Right, because you chose to have a physical experience. Believe it or not, you can get mad as much as you want. Doesn't matter because you chose. We all chose to be here. This earth is not a trap. None of that is true. You literally chose to have a physical experience. So honor that. I mean, yes, raise your frequency as much as you want, but also like have fun having a physical body and doing human things.
Right. And don't be so hard on yourself because it's very human of us to think raising your frequency is better. But the reason it's better is because it feels better, not because it's objectively better. It's just different.
Yeah.
Right. But it feels better. So that's why you want to move in that direction, helps you perceive things differently. But if you have an off day or a bad day or whatever, you're not bad. It's not bad. It is. It just is,
Oh, Maggie, sorry, puppy is attacking the cat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And sometimes we need that contrast, right? Like if I'm not seeing something or understanding something and I need different perspectives, sometimes I'll have like a lower energy day because I need the contrast of that situation to show me what I'm not seeing otherwise, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. It does. 100%.
I know. I'm so sorry. She's part husky and she's learning how to talk. So,
oh, I love it. My dog, I will tell you. So I have a little, he's a Shoozle. He's a Shih Tzu poodle. He has got attitude from here to Tuesday. I can't even tell you. Okay. And we had 2 dogs. And when the other dog finally passed away, the little dog has now taken on the persona of boss. Right. Mm-hmm. So I walk down the stairs and he's already snorting at me because I'm not moving fast enough to give him his treats anymore. And this morning I opened the door to let him out, and I am not even kidding you. He literally looked at me and looked out the door and then looked at me and sniffed his nose and turned around and walked away. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I wouldn't want to pee outside either right now.
Right. Yeah.
He's turned into such like a huge personality. He talks all the time. Rah, 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 rah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I love that she's learning how to talk. Sweet little puppy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The Christina put the sticker in Soul Spark chat. Thank you.
Oh, awesome.
I've already forgotten what it was. You guys are going to remind me what it was, but that's so great.
Right? Isn't it fun how that works? Somebody, oh, say that again. I'm like, oh.
I get that all the time. Like, oh, repeat that. I'm like, girl, I don't know. That is gone.
Right. Exactly.
You can't at all. Somebody asked this question: has time changed due to the changes showing in the Schumann and solar activity?
Well, that's an interesting question because time is a made up concept. So I think that your perception of time changes.
Yes.
And I do not believe that it's directly necessarily related to the Schumann, because the Schumann is just a measurement. That's all it is. Could it be related to a growth in your frequency? Absolutely. Could it be related to a frequency shift on the earth? Absolutely. But time is made up, so it's hard to say. That would have to, if you want to go by logical standards, right? If it's a human made construct, the reason your perception of it would change is because the human construct that you were part of is shifting. That goes along with the idea of a frequency change, right? So that's where I would find it, at least.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. I have nothing to add to that. Perfect. Yes, no notes. Ride the flow and watch the show. Yes, thank you so much. Ride the flow and watch the show.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. The more that you can learn how to do that, honestly, the easier everything is and the less you stop waiting. I've noticed so many people waiting to live their lives until like this current administration is no longer in power, things like that. You can't wait, because if you're waiting, you will perpetually be waiting, and then you're just going to shift yourself to that reality where you're waiting forever and ever and ever, and it's never going to end for you, right?
There's always going to be a reason. There's always going to be a reason not to. Yeah. You just have to decide there's a bigger reason to do it.
Yep. Right? You have to live in the now. Right.
Right. One of my favorite quotes is from, I don't know if you guys know who he is. His name is Oliver. His account is Sailing with Phoenix. He's the guy with the cat on the sailboat. Him. Right. Okay. Yes. So I love Oliver.
Yes.
So he did an interview, and I don't remember what station it was, but he did an interview, and somebody asked him, what made you finally decide to do this after everything? And he literally, Oliver, he kind of was like, well, I just decided that I was going to have a dream bigger than my fear, and then I did it. And
now I love it. Goosebumps. Yes, exactly. Yes. You can do it afraid. Do you guys know that? You can just do it scared. You just do it. right? The only thing that's going to be different between doing it now and doing it later is the time that passes in between. That's it. So you might as well just do it, right?
Yep.
What's the best that could happen? That phrase has changed my life because it's gotten me to focus on potential possibilities that feel good instead of saying what's the worst that could happen. I hate that phrase.
Yeah.
Because what's the worst that could happen is your brain is going to your ego, which is not a bad word, by the way. Ego, you need it to exist here as a human.
Yes.
Your ego will always look for the reasons to keep you safe.
Right.
So if you go, what's the worst that could happen? You're going to think of all the worst things can happen. But if you say what's the best that could happen, it expands you, it opens you up, and it allows you to shift to those realities. It's amazing.
Yes. Yes. And again, just frequencies, right? So your ego, to your point, is not the bad guy. Your ego, I like to think of ego as kind of your very overprotective mother, right? Yeah. There was a time not so long ago where humanity was pretty dumb, people. We used to like, oh, pretty kitty, okay, lion, bad idea. Okay. So your ego is there to tell you this is outside your comfort zone. This is unusual. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? It's there to make sure to keep your physical body safe because humanity doesn't have a great track record, right? But what you're doing is you're recognizing ego. I see what you're doing and you're staying, but I am okay. Yeah. I understand what I'm doing and I'm taking conscious steps in the direction I want to go instead of just being batted around by the current, whichever way it goes.
Right. You know? Right.
And I want to tell people, be very careful what you give your energy to as far as like thinking people are out to get you. Or
yes. Oh my God. Yes.
There's so much of it. I and hopefully if this offends you, I'm sorry, but I have this very strong belief that I personally am not of any importance to be on any radar anywhere, that anyone is interested in what I have to say, because I'm not saying anything that you don't already know.
Right.
It can feel like people are against you sometimes because it feels like things are not working out. But what I want you to ask yourself is, where is that victim mindset coming from?
Yep.
Where have you learned that someone has power over you? And how can you recognize and step away from that? No one has power over you. They may have control over your physical environment, and that is true. But no one has power over you. No one can make you do anything. No one can make you feel anything. You make a choice to feel and do those things. So before you give your power away and say, oh, it's the government, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. I'm sorry, for the history of governments, they're always messed up. It's not new, right?
It's not new.
Don't look at that like, oh, how are they going to hurt me? They're not after you. They don't care. They don't care. I guarantee you, they don't care. Your job does not care. If you retire tomorrow, you're replaced the next day. They don't care. You know what I mean? So you have to care about you. You have to care about how you feel.
You do. And to bring that into the more woo side, the free will is like the prime directive on this planet, right? Literally no one can force you to think, believe, feel anything. Okay. And people are going to say, oh, but they hurt my feelings. No, you hurt your feelings because you took something personally, because you took what they said as a personal attack on you, and something inside of you was already hurt. All that did was put on display a shadow or a limiting belief that you had. Great. Let that come up so you can shift it, so you can heal it. I have linked in my bio on all my platforms. I have a blog. Okay. It's spelled BLAWG because why not? Blog, right? So I've got a blog and I have 2 free blog posts. I don't want your freaking email. I don't want anything. They're just free for the taking for anybody. It's shadows and how to clear them and limiting beliefs and how to shift them, right? You can let that stuff come up and go, ooh, this makes me feel icky. I wonder why, right? It's not that person. That person is reflecting it back to you so you can be aware of it, so you can shift. And then once you shift, you've raised in your vibrational frequency, and then that same thing cannot happen to you again because you've healed the thing inside of you, right?
Right.
And this also goes with spells and things like that. I always hear people going, well, how do I protect myself? The second that you go, I need to protect myself, is the second you need protection, right? Even Bashar says this, right?
Absolutely.
I believe
1000%.
Full body goosebumps. I believe this for years. But once I heard Bashar say it, I was like, preach it, queen. Yes, somebody else is finally saying this. The second you believe you need protection, you are creating a scenario in which you need protection. Spells and things like that do not work on people unless you know about it. That's why when people place curses on people, they tell the person they're cursing, because it doesn't work unless that person takes that belief on as their own and goes, oh my God, I'm cursed. But if
That's
you
just
go,
law of attraction, friends.
that's literally law of attraction. Like, it's literally just, it's quantum mechanics and quantum physics. That's all that it is. That's what you're paying attention to. So it draws into, that's literally it, right?
Yes.
No one can negatively affect you. No one can make you do, say, feel. It's only ever you versus you. And I know I say this all the time, but it's only ever you versus you. And if you're out there looking for reasons to be afraid, that's what you're going to find. And if you're out there looking for reasons to be free, to feel free, that's what you're going to find. It's literally as simple as that.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Esther Hicks says it too. If someone you didn't know called you on the phone and said, I don't like you and I'm never going to call you again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Fine.
Sure. Okay. Okay.
So Bullock is asking me if I can elaborate on the empathy push from this morning. I would love to, friend, but I was in a channel, so I don't remember what I said.
Oh, yeah.
So I apologize for that. I don't know. I can't add anything to it because for me, it's like a blank. It's like blank. When I try to go back to it, it's not there. When I make those videos, that's something that I want to share. This isn't rehearsed at all. 95% of the time when I'm pulling the cards, I'm telling myself, okay, make sure you say this, make sure you say this, make sure you say this. I go down there and hit record and say none of it every time, every single time. So if you see me with stuff written down, it's because I have to say this, right? Yeah. Because once I click into that channel, it doesn't care what my agenda was. It's just going to say whatever needs to be said. And I will come out of that and be like, like, I didn't just say that.
Girl, but, yes.
All the time. So I'm so sorry, but I can't elaborate necessarily on that. I can tell you that empathy is important. There are a lot of people who are, at least from my observation, Sam, I'll ask you how you feel about this. What I've seen is this weird shift with people. My husband's a perfect example. He is, up until very recently, what I would call unawakened, very logical, very physical, right? Love him very much. But he has recently had a shift and he recognizes that something's wrong, something's off. He can feel it, but he doesn't fully understand that there's another option yet. So he's very much in this incredibly uncomfortable place where he knows he doesn't want to do this anymore. And he knows this isn't how it has to be. And he knows, but he can't quite yet see the other side. So for me, empathy right now is super important because it's not about pitying someone. It's about being able to sit with them in that confusion and say, I've been there. I'm going to sit with you. I'm going to hold your hand and it's going to be okay. We're going to breathe our way through this or whatever. But it can help to just be calm around them when they feel like nothing is calm, So at least that's what's coming through right now. I have no idea what I said this morning, but that's what's coming through right now.
Yeah, I feel that on the channel stuff, right? You pull information from the ether, and then when you kind of come back into your conscious self, you're like, oh, well, that didn't come from me. There's no short-term memory when it comes to channeling because you didn't come up with it, right? You pulled it out from somewhere. You have to go back into the channel to find it. I feel that so hard.
Yes, and it's been shown to me that when you're channeling, you're more like a straw than a sponge. It's not necessarily meant for you to integrate or to hold on to all the time. Yeah. You're more passing along information. Yeah. Like a straw, when you stop pulling information through pulling the drink through the straw, it's no longer there. Right.
Right.
Same idea. At least that's how it works for me.
Right. I do have a question I'd like to answer that I've seen a couple times here. How can sex negatively impact one's development? It only will negatively impact your development if you believe it's negatively impacting your development. It's just your belief. If you believe something is going to negatively impact you, then it will. If you believe it won't, then it won't. It's literally just belief. That's basic law of attraction. That's it.
I would just say be mindful of who you share that very special frequency of yourself with, because there are people who are going to fully take advantage of that, not even on purpose. Yeah. But when your energy feels good to someone whose energy is very disorganized, it's kind of like when you're at Disney World and it's 7,000 degrees outside and you walk into the one store with air conditioning, you are ready to fork over every dime you own so that you can stay there for 5 minutes. Yeah. That's how it feels when someone who struggles get around someone who's calm. And and they pull energy from you. And I don't necessarily think it's on purpose. I think you
No,
just feel better. You
it
feel
feels
good.
good.
You feel good. You feel good.
That's like if you're suffocating and you don't have oxygen, and then somebody finally puts an oxygen mask on. You're just trying to survive, right?
Yes.
It's not bad intentions or anything like that, but it feels so much better. But the more grounded and centered you are, the more aware you are of those things, and you just don't let those people kind of come into your bubble.
Right. And Stephanie, I don't feel like I have the expertise to speak to the idea of how do you get rid of the feeling of shame.
I have a
I don't
suggestion.
have the confidence to
I have
answer
a
that.
suggestion for that. So I don't either. I'm not trained. I'm not trauma informed, but you guys know I talk about Taryn Fian all of the freaking time. Her website is linked in that Shadows and How to Clear Them blog post if you need it. I also follow her on TikTok. She's not on YouTube, but I follow her on TikTok and on Instagram. If you want, she is trauma informed and she is so good at helping you clear the shadows and the energy around shame, no matter what the shame is from. So
Yes.
100% she is the person to go to.
Absolutely. You should work with someone, especially on something that sensitive, who understands the lens through which they're looking. I don't
Yeah.
have a frame of reference for it. So I would just be giving you generic information. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So absolutely. Say her name again.
Taryn Fian. So it's Taryn with an N and then Fian. If one of my mods could actually type that in the chat on both YouTube and on TikTok, Taryn Fian. Yes. Thank you so much.
There. Perfect.
Yep. If you go to my blog post, okay, she has like a Kajabi website, but if you go to my blog post, Shadows and How to Clear Them, she's linked in there somewhere at the bottom, or you can book her for other stuff too. So she's an excellent I mean, you want to go to somebody who's trauma informed. I'm not. I can channel for you all day long. I can probably help you with some stuff. She's trauma informed. She's the one that you want for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be wary of anyone who tells you they know all the answers.
Oh my God. Yes, please.
Please, please.
Also, be wary of somebody who says, I'm the only one with this information.
Oh, absolutely.
Gross. Because here's the thing. If you're pulling it from the ether, everyone has access to the ether. You just have to practice channeling and raise your frequency enough so you can access it. But everyone has access to all the information that is shared, right?
Yeah.
So no one has just the one answer that nobody else is getting. That's a giant red flag.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're getting lots of positive comments about Taryn. She's absolutely incredible. I do want to do a quick little FYI, if that's okay. These expansion packs, we just dropped the third expansion pack last week. I think it was last week. Time is really hard lately. The expansion packs are quick, bite-sized ways to expand yourself, expand your consciousness. So link in the bio. We have one for getting out of your head. We've had a lot of questions here today about how do you get out of your own head, right? How do you forgive yourself is a big question. You need to start there, right? How to get out of your own head. That's a really good place to start. But the expansion packs are really easy to use. And I help you integrate at the end of them, right? So they're all on demand, but we have get out of your own head, highest timeline activation, and manifestation mastery. So all three of those, they're all standalone. They're part of the alignment trilogy. They're all standalone expansion packs, but if you stack them, then you expand even more, right? So I'm bringing that up because a lot of things were asked today would fall under the categories of those and be very helpful. So
yes, be proactive in your healing.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to give you the magical phrase that just heals you of all the things. You have to shift. You have to be the one to do the things, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, man. Nobody's coming to save you. This is my favorite thing to say. And I love you so much. Nobody's coming to save you. You have to save yourself, right? So.
Well, thank you, MN Bullock 21. I appreciate you.
Oh, shoot. I need to answer this question. Jen, I just saw this. The timeline expansion pack, how does it differ from the class? So occasionally I'll have a class that can supplement an expansion pack. So the highest timeline activation and manifestation mastery next week. We'll also have a class. The expansion pack is we're going to shift in about an hour. We're going to have this result in about an hour, right? It's quick. It's easy. You watch a video, you meditate to shift, and then I integrate with you. It's boom, boom, boom. The class is just a deep dive. So if you want to be a full-on expert of this thing, and if you want more of it, if you're hungry for more of that same topic, that's what the class is for. Okay. Oh, yes. Erin, you are active on Patreon. Will you tell us about that?
Yes. So I have several different platforms. Because I am trained physically as a professor and a teacher, I have a school classroom, the SKOOL website. That is very much like a university setting. Each class comes with written material and a video lecture that goes with it. If you want to just straight up learn different stuff, there's about 10 different classes you can choose from. Some of them are free. The one about the Schumann is free. The one about everyday energy is free. So go check that out. Patreon, I treat very much like a social board for me. I post every Wednesday a new article connecting science and spirituality. It's the first place I post any kind of gallery gatherings or anything like that. So it's also just Consciously Erin, but it's a great place for a community. There's a lot of people that we have over 1,000, almost 1,100 members now. So that's 1,100 people that you can talk to about this stuff, and nobody's going to judge you and nobody going to feel it's weird, so please go check it out.
Yep. And then we have a community too. So follow one, both, it doesn't, but we don't care. We just want you to find your people. We literally don't care. Find your people. I have the Soul Spark community, and that's available in all my bio links. That Soul Spark community is my version of what Erin was saying. You can @ me, you can tag me, you can ask questions if you're in Soul Spark. And I help you grow every month. Every month we have a topic, and we as a community come together and we practice that thing. And then everything that we do kind of stacks and builds. So it's same, but different. So
yeah, you're not going to hurt my feelings by hanging out with Sam.
And you're not going to hurt my feelings by hanging out with Erin.
Right. Because my goal is your sovereignty. So whomever and however is easiest for you to reach that, I'm a big fan.
1,000%.
And there's nothing that Sam is going to tell you, in my experience, there's nothing that she's going to tell you that is going to be detrimental to you. So there's no reason for you not to embrace her teachings. We're not in competition with each other. I think that's a misconception a lot of people have. Sam and I are very much saying the same things. We just might say it differently sometimes, but it's only because of the lens we're using. That's it. They're all the same things.
That's it. And same with Taryn. I know Taryn's not on the live today, but same. That's why we recommend these people that we trust, you guys, because I'm not going to resonate with everybody. Erin's not going to resonate with everybody. Taryn's not, right? So it's whoever you're resonating with the most is the person for you. So we're just giving you options so you can heal and feel better, and we can all raise our vibration, and we can be so rad and awesome and psychic together.
Yes. And remember, as you evolve, so too does your ability to receive information. So for example, when I first started out on my awakening experience, I talk about this all the time. Someone gifted me a bunch of Eckhart Tolle books, and I know how profound he is and all this stuff, but I cannot read his books. I cannot do it. I don't care. I've tried 1,000 times. However, someone gave me this book, right? Written by a PhD using the language of science to explain resonant frequencies and everything. Look at this. This is so dog-eared. And I read the first 3 chapters of that, and everything, boom, came together like that for me, because all of a sudden someone used the language I understand to explain the concept, right?
And I bet they're all saying the same things, but it's going to be worded in a way that resonates with you. This David Morehouse.
Yeah. So Dr. Morehouse is one of the guys that trained the people in the CIA programs.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
So what he does in this book, so the first half of the book is all science, right? He's literally giving you equations to measure how manifestation works through resonance, entrainment, physics, quantum entanglement. So the whole first half of the book is science. And then the second half of the book is the procedure to learn remote viewing the way he taught it.
That's fun.
It is super fun. So, I mean, again, he says the same stuff Eckhart Tolle says. He just used a different language. And because I understand science better, this is what spoke to me. Doesn't mean what Eckhart Tolle says is wrong. Not quite the contrary. Now that I have a better understanding of the concept, if I sit down with his book, it's easier for me to read what he's saying, because now I already understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to kind of come in the back door sometimes. But just because you grow and you stop resonating with one teacher doesn't mean what you learned from them is wrong, bad, or indifferent. You're just ready to move on to the next thing.
Yes. And that's the thing. I've had so many people come through my community, right? Some people are my OGs and they've been around forever and I love them. Most people move through, right? And they have me for the season that they're meant to have. And then they find somebody else, and then we get new people, right? Yeah. The book Remote Viewing by David Morehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the point, right? You're going to find your people and it can change from season to season, right? That happens
Yes.
for us too, right? I've collaborated with people who I was a match with at one point and now we're not. And that doesn't mean that something bad happened. It doesn't mean that I don't like them anymore. It doesn't mean anything happened at all. It just means we kind of went on diverging paths because we're on our own journeys. And that's
Yes.
beautiful. It's beautiful when we come together for a season, right? You just got to find your people. You got to find who you resonate with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you so much, Erin.
It was so fun. I had such a great time.
This was so fun. We should definitely do this again, maybe after the holidays.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I do so? Cheryl wants to know, do I do remote viewing? I have tried once or twice. I haven't spent a lot of time working on the technique, right? His perspective is very, because he's from the military, his perspective is very logical in nature, so it resonates with me. And I've done it once or twice and I've had relative success with it. This is remote viewing is one of those things that you have to practice it a lot. And I have not devoted the time. I find it absolutely fascinating. And one day I hope to be invited to the Monroe Institute because they're going to pay for it and they're going to teach me how to do it. And I'm very excited about that.
Oh my God. I'm going to manifest that you and I get to go at the same time. And
how fun would that be?
That would be so rad. Oh my God. Because I would like to go too. Now's not the season, but I would very much like to go too. That would be so fun to go together.
And they have a creator, like they do a creator program. Like Emily Bledsoe has gone through it. Jordan Crowder went through it.
Yes.
So I talked to Jordan at the Psy Games and I'm like, dude, how'd you do it? He goes, I don't know. They reached out to me. He goes, you should email them. I go, okay. So I did.
Yeah.
So we'll see if anything ever happens. But how fun would that be? I would love to have the opportunity just to try it, just to learn,
just to learn. I love going to those places. I went to the Edgar Cayce Center in Richmond, Virginia. I got to visit that. Oh my God. I love going to these places. They happen to be doing a meditation in the meditation room, and the meditation room has one wall of all windows, just pure glass, and it overlooks the ocean. You literally just see the ocean. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get in on this. I got so excited. And I sat in that room and I meditated with everybody. Just, it's so powerful when you bring all these frequencies together, right? Oh, here's
a fun little connection, right? So I do believe that throughout our life experience, we have all these little things I called glimpses where you have the opportunity to move towards a more awakened lifestyle, but in the moment you may not make that choice. One of those glimpses for me is I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. So I've been to the Edgar Cayce Museum. And I went in there and had a whole consultation done with someone and they laid it all out for me. And I walked out of there with that paper and I looked at it and I go, no. And I threw it in the garbage and walked on. Right?
Look at you now.
But I was I think I was 16 when I did that. So nowhere near ready. But there's many moments like that. I'm sure if you look back at your life, there's so many opportunities that we've had. But you have to stop looking at it like, oh my gosh, I wish. Nope.
No,
this is where you are.
Exactly when it was supposed to happen. And all of those things, they laid seeds, right? And they just needed time to fertilize and grow, right?
Yes, absolutely. It was so fun. Yes, we'll do it again sometime after the holidays. Sounds like a great plan.
Sounds like great. This was so much fun. Thank you so much. You're so rad. You're so amazing.
It was fun.
It was so fun. And you guys go check out our communities, follow whoever you vibe with the most. We don't care. We just want you to have a place to go to and have people to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks everybody for being here. Both sides. Everybody
both
everywhere.
Sides. Yes. Thank you. We love you so much. Okay. We ended YouTube. Bye, TikTok. We love you. I always